of you gentrified reformers either. Because we have to make some radical, authentic changes, not some cosmetic changes that will bring satisfaction to some reformers that are not about radical change. I suggest this. What's going to happen today? What's going to happen today? There is a 1st Judicial District and the 4th Judicial District. Listen to this. Pay that fool no mind. Look here. In the 4th Judicial District, a black and Latino district, Frank Sedillo has 5,900 weighted votes, whatever the hell that means, and he's going to select a white judge for a black district because he has the weighted votes more than everybody else in that district. One man is going to select that. District 1 is going to select a white judge. And then they're going to tell you they're going to recess. They're going to go behind the curtains in private, and they're going to vote for a county-wide judge. And as they vote for this county-wide judge, we had blacks fighting it out, Frank Sedillo sitting back, manipulating the whole process. David Pepper, a white judge, they're trying to get him in even in that position. Watch how it works. What you should demand tonight, don't make no decisions in private. Make it right here on the stage so that you can see what's going on. Councilmember Barry and myself, we're not participating in this sham of a democracy because Frank Sedillo has complete control. Judges have to kiss his ring in order to get a judgeship. That day must end, and for Inez and I, it ends tonight. This is a sham, and we will not be participating. Finally, for all the judges that are going forward, particularly the black judges, for all the judges that are going forward, you need to read this book, Black Robes, White Justice, by Judge Bruce Wright. Judge Bruce Wright was a judge that called into question racism in the system. So you judges, don't just send us your resume because you want to climb up the ladder from criminal to civil to surrogate to the highest court in the land. If you want supreme, then you need to speak out. Speak out against the injustices and do that as a judge in the limitations that you have. We don't want judges just telling us that they want to climb up the ladder and give me your resume. I know there's a code of ethics and you can't do too much politically, but you can speak out against the injustice. And if you don't deserve a judgeship. We need judges that are going to talk about the racism, a capitalist system that exploits us. We need judges, we need lawyers, and we need politicians that speak out against a racist, parasitic, capitalist system that exploits. Thank you.
The chair recognizes Annette Robinson of the 56th Assembly District for the purpose. Nominations are now in order for the officers of the Kings County Democratic County Committee, and I recognize Annette Robinson of the 55th Assembly District for the purpose of a nomination.
Mr. Acting Chairman, for the purposes of nomination, nominate the following to serve as officers of the Kings County Democratic County Committee. Joseph Bova of the 49th Assembly District for chairperson. Deirdre Shack of the 46th AD for first vice chair. Melba Brown of the 58th Assembly District for second vice chair. Josh Scala of the 52nd Assembly District for third vice chair. Felix W. Ortiz of the 51st Assembly District for the fourth vice chair. Lori Citra Nipel of the 44th AD for fifth vice chair. Dharma Diaz of the 54th AD for the sixth vice chair. Joseph Bova of the 49th AD for secretary. Nancy Tong of the 47th AD for first assistant secretary. Rodney's Bashat of the 42nd AD for second assistant secretary. Sorry, there is a correction. Shirley Patterson of the 43rd Assembly District for secretary. Darlene Mealy of the 55th AD for treasurer. Sue Ann Parknow of the 59th AD for assistant treasurer. And Anthony T. Jones of the 55th AD for sergeant at arms.
Thank you. I recognize Nancy Tong of the 47th Assembly District for the purpose of a second. Thank you. The chair recognizes Hassan Bakruddin of the 58th Assembly District for the purpose of nominations. I'm sorry. Come on up. Big room, a lot of people. Come up to the mic.
Hello, everyone. My name is Hassan Bakruddin. I nominate the following number of people here who are running for the various positions. And I'm not going to go in any kind of order, if you don't mind. Just bear with me. I nominate candidate for chair, Brandon West. Candidate for vice chair, Claudia Gallica. Candidate for second vice chair, Murad Amawaibi. Candidate for third vice chair, Isha McCoy. Candidate for fourth vice chair, John Buzak. Candidate for fifth vice chair, Stacey Boyd. Candidate for sixth vice chair, Willem Vega. Candidate for secretary, Theodore Moore. Candidate for first assistant secretary, Ernest Skinner. Candidate for second assistant secretary, Dr. Ahmad Jabir. Candidate for treasurer, Joan Alexander Bakruddin. Candidate for assistant treasurer, Genesis Aquino. And candidate for sergeant of arms, Julio Pena. Do we have a second in the House? Who's seconding? All right. Great, thanks.
The chair recognizes Rebecca Steinberg of the 52nd Assembly District for the purpose of a second. Rebecca? Okay. Are there any further nominations? Seeing none, and without objection, I declare nominations to be closed. The chair recognizes Brandon Terry West of the 52nd Assembly District for comments.
So I want an opportunity to just explain a little bit of sort of what the whole hubbub has been for the last few weeks. So usually when we come to county committee 2 years ago, about 30 seconds before we come here, we find out who the officers are for the party and we make a vote on them. And I think we've all heard borough presidents talk about how where Brooklyn goes, the nation goes, and I think if you look at that, generally, I think there's a lot that can be done here in Brooklyn in terms of transparency and accountability and openness in terms of how our party operates. And I think that and there's a lot of places that we can address that, and we've already started to have that conversation, but I think one also is in terms of the process and the operation of the party. So with a group of organizations, we came together and decided that maybe everything that happens at this meeting isn't predetermined. And we wanted to actually run people for open positions because anyone can run for these positions. So when we came to that decision, we went to the party, and explained to them our idea, and then asked them who are the officers of the party. At the moment, they were able to name a few, but not everyone on who the officers of the party. And because it's not on the website, it's not publicly known, we had to foil it to get the full list. So when we went to start talking to some of these people who were on this list, there were some people, district leaders, who didn't know that they were officers of the party. So we considered this maybe a bit of a problem. So when we went at this moment and also explained the bylaws, because there's a lot of debate of sort of what the bylaws are these voting members of the executive committee or not, what's going on here. Originally the conversation was, these are the wrong bylaws. The bylaws have been on the website for a long time. And then some time went by and it's like, well, these are actually the bylaws, but they're not the right bylaws because we voted for other ones, but that didn't actually happen. So we had to go and we had to talk to every district leader up until this week. We were figuring out what's the full history of what happened and why this is the case. And there were Facebook messages going on into infinity to make sense of what happened. And generally, something was not done to change the bylaws, but that wasn't the intent. And the problem is that we realized that there aren't minutes for these meetings. Or at least there weren't minutes for these meetings that happened originally when we wanted to change the bylaws because it was important to not have the original system, which was used in order to try and control votes within the executive committee. So I think that's kind of a circular problem because the officers, the secretary has a very important role, the treasurer has a very important role, the financials have not been on the website entirety when the website came up. These are important process questions and that leads to how our party operates. So if we wanted to not have that problem exist, we should probably look at this process and how we pick our officers. So this is what was driving the original idea. And then we, after this conversation, were told about, obviously, the original intent and the fact that there was a large reform effort that a lot of people in this room were a part of to try and make sure that the members of the county committee leadership weren't having voting rights within the executive committee. It came from county that they were going to make this change and fix the bylaws as soon as they possibly could. And we agreed with that, and we believe that that's the right thing to do. And also that if any people on our slate were going to be put on to the executive committee, that they would also recuse their vote on the executive committee until the rules changed to be accurate of what this long effort was done in order to make sure that we had a more fair county structure. So that was the decision. But I think the overarching thought about this is that we need to have a better operations of the party. We need to know what's going on, and we need to have people caring about who the officers are and being present in this space. And I think a lot of people talk about how good the process was. Was it perfect? Of course it wasn't perfect. I would never say that it was perfect. And there's a lot of beliefs in terms of what this is really about, and this is the message that we've been trying to put forward since the beginning. So this is where this whole back and forth came, but we encourage people to consider that we have a chance to think about how we operate as a party, and I think that's important, and I think that's a good thing, and democracy isn't bad, and elections aren't always the wrong thing to have.
There is already a motion on the floor, so another motion is out of order. The motion is for the election of officers. The motion that's on the floor, and the way we'll vote is, we'll first call for votes on the slate headed by Mr. Bova. If that slate, state your point. The fact is, though, we're on an election, and we're on a roll call, and a motion is not in order. And if you don't like that, we can appeal the ruling of the chair. Thank you. That motion, excuse me, you're out of order. That motion is not debatable, but I can state briefly, I am allowed, if you read Robert's rules, to briefly state the reason for my ruling. And the ruling is that we had nominations and we are on a roll call vote, and therefore your motion is out of order. All in favor of upholding the ruling of the chair, please stand.
Point of information.
All,
Can you just restate the question?
we're on a roll call. You can't interrupt it. All in favor of upholding the ruling of the chair, please rise. Actually, I'm doing it backwards. All in favor of overruling the ruling of the chair, please stand. That takes a majority. I'm sorry. And the proxies vote how? The proxies vote no. The motion, the chair is sustained.
Sir, point of order.
We will first. Okay. We will first call for votes on the slate headed by Mr. Bova. If that is not elected, we will vote on the opposing slate. If that slate is not elected, we will vote on each office until all positions are filled by a majority vote. All those in favor of electing the slate headed by Mr. Bova, please rise. The tellers, please count. And remember, if someone else is holding the proxy, you can't vote in person. Tellers, counting.
No, it's pretty loud. I won't, because by the map of it, from what I remember, it sounds like Frank has all the proxies, and you Kings have enough for this room to make a difference if everyone in this room votes. Yeah, but it's like, no, because it's like...
We got every single vote
He's
in
got
this room.
550, there's 450 in the room, and they have 130. And everyone in this room.
He's got 550.
So my impression
And
is
he
that...
can have 6.
Well, it just seems to me it's unlikely, but like if everyone in this room like heard what people wanted to say and why they wanted to do it, that might like affect something. So.
There's no real watchdog.
It might be close enough that we might have to actually come up. I mean, I think we just want to get through the meeting. I think they're expecting it. I just feel like.
We don't just want to cover the meeting. They want information.
No, I know. But that's what I'm saying. They're trying to steamroll. It feels like they're trying to steamroll the process of like understanding what's going on and making an informed decision.
Vote of those standing, plus the proxies
I'm just
held
saying, like,
by Mr. Sedio.
I was not on
Voting, we don't even know the results yet. It's 600 against 491. The Bova slate is elected. Your teller counted.
So only 50 people attended. 50 people attended.
Yeah.
A word about the next item for this evening. Pursuant, you're out of order. Please take a seat. Pursuant to section 6-146, subdivision 5, nominees, people nominated by for civil court in the primary, were allowed to decline their nomination because of a subsequent nomination for Supreme Court. The subsequent nomination, the filling the vacancy in the Democratic nomination for those civil court seats is filled according to 6-148 subdivision 1 of the election law by the filing of a certificate. And
I motion to divide the question that we just had. We need a roll call.
Like, how do we know that people didn't
You're out
stand
of
and
order.
had a proxy?
You're lost.
Like, I
You didn't have
can
enough.
stand and had a proxy. How do you know I'm not double voting? Like, I revoked my proxy while I was here, and they just threw my paper to the side.
Yeah.
So how do I don't know that they didn't vote my proxy as part of whatever?
You don't. And
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know, but they
When
want
you're
other shit
elected to
votes
the
too.
county
Yeah, that's what I'm
committee,
saying. But
No,
like,
I
people
agree.
stood
you
up here.
become a
and like, how
member
do we
of
know
a
they're not
number of
double counting?
committees.
You don't, and by
You
for the
become
same
a
reasons
member
why
of the
he's
Kings
saying,
County
yeah.
It's like
Democratic
he's fucking
Committee.
insane. Like,
Yeah.
what
You
kind of
become a
democracy
member of
is
your
that?
assembly district, county
It's
committee.
like
These are all
bullshit. It's
different
like I spent my
committees.
whole day rushing
You
to work to
become a
come here for
member
what?
of
For what,
your,
yeah.
in
Like
most
what?
cases,
So, yeah.
not all, depending, of your state senate
Fuck
district
what? I don't
committee,
care.
and
I
in
thought I was
some
going on a
cases,
fucking
not
Saturday
all,
now.
of your
I thought I could
congressional
vote on a paper,
district Democratic committee.
my phone, do
You
something.
also
We're
become a
standing up.
member
Like,
of
really?
Yeah.
your
Like, middle school
municipal
elections are more
civil
democratic.
court Democratic committee.
You know what I mean? Like, we're
And
standing up.
according to election law, section 6-148(3),
Point of information, sir. Point of
We're
information.
standing up and being counted.
There are also standing and special committees which pursuant to
Like, who does
section
Article 3,
They're worse
Section
than
1.
Chads.
Don't think that our vote's
The
not
next
that
order of
important.
business is
They're worse than
supposed to be
Chads.
report on the standing and special committees.
We
So
don't
I
know the people
inquire
that stand. He said
whether
you
or
can't
not
double vote, but how do
the
we know those same
15
people don't have
standing
any?
committees listed in Article 6, Section 1, sub 1 through 15 have been filled? If so, who are the chairs? And if not, how can we fill those standing committees with general members who wish to increase their participation in the Democratic Party of Brooklyn?
That's a good question. That's a good question, but it's not appropriate for here because we've just elected a chair, and the chair appoints those committees. Those committees don't exist until the chair. That's not a point of information, sir.
That is a point of information.
And I just told you those committees don't exist until the chair appoints the committees.
And when is the chair going to appoint those committees?
Ask the chair, you just elected one. Sir, the committees I'm addressing are established in the election law, not in the party rules. If you want to talk about party rules, please bring it up under new business. Thank you. It was suggested in the Daily News editorial, by the way, that we should leave these nominations for judgeships vacant. You know what that means? You know how stupid that was? The office of civil court will still be on the ballot. If there's no Republican or conservative or anybody else and no Democrat, somebody goes in and gets 10 write-ins and they're a judge. Not screened, not known, 20 of their friends wrote it in. That's how dumb the Daily News editorial was. And if there is a Republican or a conservative on the ballot and no Democrat, they'll win. Is that what Democrats want? We need to fill these nomination vacancies. For that reason, we're recessing the county committee meeting for the purpose of holding a first municipal court, that's civil court. Why are they called municipal? Because when the lines were established in 1898, they were a municipal court, okay? And for the fourth municipal court district. So the county committee meeting stands in recess, and we will hold here, right here, the first municipal court district committee meeting for the purpose of a nomination. The county committee meeting stands in recess. The first municipal court district Democratic County Committee called to order. Anybody, by the way, anybody with a yellow band from the 4th district, go to the room in the back, please. All the orange bands, raise your hand. Okay? Only if you have an orange band, only people who represent, you don't have to live in court district. You must represent an election district in the first municipal court district. Understood? You're acting as a representative. A little differently than the county committee meeting, at the municipal court district meeting, you will cast a weighted vote based on the Democratic strength in the ED that you represent. That's according to the election law. Okay? You have to cast a weighted vote. You all received a notice of the meeting, and I will enter this in the minutes of the meeting, convening the first civil municipal court district committee of the county committee for the purpose of organization, making the Democratic Party nomination to fill the vacancy in the nomination for the public office of judge of the civil court. And I believe proxies have been filed for this meeting as well. I have been informed by the registrars that there is a quorum present of the members of the county committee from the first municipal court district. Nominations are in order for the position of chairman, presiding officer of the first municipal court district committee of the Kings County Democratic County Committee. I recognize Jason Shelley of the 52nd AD for the purpose of the nomination.
I nominate Martin E. Connor as the chairperson and presiding officer of the First Civil Municipal District Court Committee for the Kings County Democratic Committee.
Thank you. And I recognize Melinda Roscoe of the 52nd AD for the purpose of the second. Thank you. Are there any further nominations?
As they say.
Do I hear a motion to close nominations? As many as are in favor of closing nominations, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay.
You're okay, right?
Nominations are closed. As many as are in favor of the election of Martin E. Connor as chairman, presiding officer of this committee, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. May I remind the people who are not county committee members from the first municipal court district that it is unlawful for you to vote by voice or any other way in this municipal court district committee meeting. You are not a member, and it is a crime for you to vote. Beware. The ayes have it, and nominations are declared closed. As many as are in favor of the election of Martin E. Connor as chairman, say aye. We did that. The ayes have it, and Martin Connor is hereby declared elected as chairman. Nominations are in order for the position of secretary of the First Civil Court, Municipal Court District Committee, Democratic Committee. I recognize Elisa Meyer for the purpose of a nomination.
Elisa!
Nomination of Joe Millman for secretary. Is there a second? I recognize Seamus Campbell of the 52nd Assembly District.
I second the motion.
Thank you. Are there any further nominations? Do I hear a motion to close nominations?
Wait. I
As
nominate.
many as in favor of closing nominations, say aye. Opposed, say nay.
We have another nomination.
You asked for other nominations. I nominate myself, Aaron Kaufman, for secretary.
Wait a minute. Hold on a minute.
You
Do you have an orange band?
I do. Yes.
There's orange
You
over here.
nominated what?
Nominating myself.
Is there a second?
Got a second?
A second.
Thank you.
Those in favor of Joe Millman for secretary of this committee, please stand. Thank you. Please be seated. I'm sorry, I meant to say, anybody who stands should really state their name in the election district they represent. I don't.
I'm sorry, sir. Aaron Kaufman of the 52nd Assembly District and 110th Election District.
Thank you, Aaron. All in favor of Aaron for secretary, please stand.
I'm a good guy.
Sir, I think you're a really good guy, but you're lost.
That's all right.
That happens. That's happened to me.
Thank you for your vote.
The ayes have it, and actually the count of votes has it that Joan Millman is hereby declared elected secretary of this committee. Nominations are now in order for membership of the Credentials Committee of this meeting. I recognize Jonathan Kopp of the 52nd for the purpose of a motion and nomination.
I move that the Credentials Committee be composed of 3 members, and I nominate the following 3 members of the Democratic State Committee to serve on that committee. Josh Scholar of the 52nd Assembly District, Sharon Wiedeburn of the 57th Assembly District, and Mitu Alan of the 51st Assembly District.
Chair recognizes Stephen Brownson for the purpose of the second.
Chairman, I recognize of the I second the nomination.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Are there any further nominations? Do I hear a motion to close nominations? As many as are in favor of closing nominations, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. Nominations are declared closed. I recognize Josh Scaller for a report and motion from the Credentials Committee. John.
Should I be moving now that we accept the credentials?
Yeah,
So the quorum for the first civil court district has been registered, and we are good to go.
and I have the membership and weighted voting, if necessary. As many as are in favor of accepting the report and motion of the Credentials Committee and to suspend the roll call of members, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. The quorum is declared present and the call of the roll is hereby suspended. Nominations are now in order for the membership of the committee to fill vacancies for this committee's nominee. I recognize Arthur Levy of the 52nd AD for the purpose of a nomination.
I propose that the committee to fill vacancies be composed of a chair and 4 members. I nominate Frank V. Carone of the 59th Assembly District as chair, Martin E. Connor, William L. Harris, Joan L. Millman, and Carrie K. Johnson as members.
Thank you. I recognize Zerlene Goodman of the 52nd Assembly District for the purpose of a second.
I second the previous motion.
Thank you. Are there any further nominations? Do I hear a motion to close nominations? As many as in favor of closing nominations, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Do you have an orange band? Then it's illegal for you to vote or participate in this meeting. Sorry. Nice try. As many as are in favor of electing Frank V. Carone, Martin E. Connor, William L. Harris, Joan L. Millman, and Carrie K. Johnson as the committee to fill vacancies for this committee's nomination, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. The ayes have it, and the committee to fill vacancies headed by Frank Carone is declared to be elected. Nominations are now in order for the candidate to fill the vacancy in the Democratic Party nomination for the public office of Judge of the Civil Court of the City of New York from the 1st Civil Municipal Court District, Borough of Brooklyn, occasioned by the declination of Judge Devin P. Cohen from said nomination to be voted for at the general election to be held on Tuesday, November 6, 2018. By the way, as with everything else in the election law, there is a deadline, and this nomination has to be filed next week. That's why we're having it tonight. Is there a nomination of a candidate? The chair recognizes Walter Mosley of the 57th Assembly District.
I proudly nominate Ann J. Swarn to be the Democratic nominee for the public office of Judge of the Civil Court for the City of New York from the 1st Civil Municipal Court District for the Great Borough of Brooklyn.
Yeah! Woo! I recognize Joanne Simon of the 52nd Assembly District for the purpose of the second.
I proudly second the nomination of Ann J. Swarn for Civil Court in the 1st Municipal District.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations? Do I hear a motion to close nominations? As many as are in favor of closing nominations, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. The ayes have it and the nominations are declared to be closed. As many as are in favor of electing Ann J. Swarn as the nominee of the Democratic Party to fill the vacancy in the nomination for the public office of Judge of the Civil Court of the City of New York from the 1st Civil Municipal Court District, Borough of Brooklyn, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. The ayes have it, and Ann J. Swarn is hereby declared as Judge of the Civil Court of the City of New York for the 1st Municipal Court District, Borough of Brooklyn, to be voted for at the general election to be held on Wednesday, November 6, 2018. There being no further business for this meeting and without objection, I hereby declare this meeting adjourned sine die. The nominee, Ann Swarn.
We've been here a long time, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking to you tonight, except to say I will stay till the last person leaves. Ask me any questions you have of me. I am honored and privileged to be the Democratic Party's candidate in the November 6th vote. I am so privileged that you are all here to witness this. Thank you to everybody who came. Thank you for everybody who participated. You guys rock. Sorry, I was a quick moment. I wanted this view.
It's all about legal stuff, yeah? The candidate must sign an acceptance when there's a nomination to fill a vacancy.
This is it. Thank you, guys.
Except you didn't have the votes to do anything else anyway, so it doesn't fucking
I just wanted to point out that unlike the male district leader in the 52nd, I did not jump up on the platform. I took the safe route up the steps. Thank you.
absolutely. I would definitely do that. Pleasure.
So is it done? We're done?
I think so, yeah.
You guys have to take a photo together. Yeah.
Same here.
Alright, you guys are gonna look over here. Pass it 1, 2, 3. Take one more.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2.
We went to look for you, and you were out of your seat. How are you?
I'm good.
Nice job seconding my motion.
I'm sorry.
Sure, whatever. I think it's
I was looking for it. I've been around, but I was kind of
I know,
keeping
but
up with it,
that's okay.
just tweeting your shit, you know.